Hi, welcome to ADHD-Friendly. I'm Patty. I am an ADHD coach, and I'm here to help you thrive with your ADHD. For more support, I invite you to join my ADHD-Friendly membership. You can get information at ADHD-Friendly.com, where ADDers get more things done. I know, let's get it done. All right, this week I am celebrating. I rescheduled an appointment. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. Sounds simple for ADHD brains. This was a huge celebration.
Yeah.
And then I'll update my spending this week. And I'm going to share a tip called the 3 H's model. When somebody asks for help, it's just a way to streamline what you're offering, make sure they get what they're looking for. And then we'll dive into our main topic today, which is 10 life lessons from Chef Alton Brown. I don't know if you know who Alton Brown is from the Food Network, but I've learned a lot from him. So I'm going to share some things that I think are very ADHD friendly. All right, so here for my celebration. We're going to kick it off with a good one. I rescheduled my eye exam.
Okay.
Now, this is huge. Number one, because I had to do it over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
If you've listened with any regularity, you know how much I hate phone calls, hate them.
Yeah.
And I had to make multiple phone calls to schedule it.
In the first place.
Yeah. Playing phone tag back and forth. Finally, and they finally did it, where I just said, it looks like we're playing phone tag. I gave them the next couple of Fridays that I was available, because those are like the most flexible days. I could just say, okay, I can make this work pretty much any Friday except like this one. So I said, just if you have anything available. I was making it for my daughter and we go together. So I was like, I need them back to back, which makes it a little bit harder to schedule because I need them to have 2 back to back.
2 openings.
And I said, just call me back, leave a message what time they are, and I will put it on my calendar. We're good. And so they finally did that. And then my daughter planned a trip to North Carolina and is getting back on the Friday night of the day that they're scheduled.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? So then it was on, and now mind you, it took me about 2 or 3 months to even start the process of getting it scheduled. And so now I have urgency now because it's scheduled. So I do need to change it. So it didn't linger for months, but it did linger longer than I would have liked it to.
Yeah.
And also because I knew I was going to be playing phone tag. It's like they don't have a dedicated person listening to the phone. So they listen to messages, they call back. I have my phone blocked. So unless you're in my contacts, you're not going to come through. No, it doesn't go through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you go right to voicemail. So we will play phone tag. And these places are always calling from different, like not the main numbers. So no matter what I do, it goes into voicemail.
Extensions.
Yep.
Yeah.
So played phone tag a little bit again. Finally got it rescheduled. Checked it off the list. Yay. It's set. So we're now 2 weeks further out than we were.
Oh. But it's done.
It's done.
On the calendar.
It's done. It's on the calendar and we are set. So that is huge. I feel really good about that. And I did build in rewards for doing the phone call because there was the chance they would answer. And I have to say, even leaving the message, I had to prepare what I was going to say and look at my calendar in advance so I could give the dates. And it was funny because they even asked me like, well, if you can call back with your insurance information, I got completely overwhelmed.
Nope.
And I said, I left another message and I said, I've got it scheduled. We're all set. I don't have my insurance information with me right now. I said, but it's the same insurance we had last year. Yeah. We were both in last year. Nothing has changed. So I was like, don't ask me like vision insurance. Like, I don't even remember if I have.
You have to go and look and
like if it's part of my, I don't remember. It changes all the time. So I'm like, do I have vision insurance? I'll figure that out later. I was like, don't hold up my appointment. Just schedule it. So I got it done. Okay. So what I purchased this week, nothing. And so I don't have a project of the week. So we get to skim right on through there. Kind of sweet. Yeah. All right. So now for my tip. So this is called the 3 H's model. And it's what I think of as a menu of options when a loved one, family member, friend comes to you for help. It's how to offer the help that they need so that you're not offering something that isn't going to help them. So it's called the 3 H's because you can offer to help them, to hear them, or to hug them.
Oh, I love that.
Right. So we often want to fix, but what if they don't want it fixed? They don't want help. They just want you to hear. They want you to listen to them. Yeah. or they're like, I just want to be, I want to just give me a hug. So it's a really friendly way to say, do you want me to help you, to hear you, or to hug you?
Oh, I'm gonna use that.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
So I just love that. I heard it in another context. And so I looked it up because I'm like, this sounds like a strategy that I'm hearing for the first time, but they used it as fix, listen, hug. Like, do you want me to fix it? Do you want me to listen to it? Or do you want me to hug you? And so I'm like, oh, okay. But I like the H's because it does help you to kind of hold on to the three of them. So when somebody comes to you with something that they're struggling with, maybe try the menu where you say, okay, you know the menu. Do you want me to help you, to hear you, or to hug you?
Oh, I really like that. I needed to put that somewhere to see it too, to remember.
Yeah. Right. It's just a simple thing. And then everybody's getting what they need. Because I don't know about you, but if you come to somebody with a problem and they try to fix it when you weren't looking, I do this to my daughter a lot. Well, she'll complain about something from work. And I'm like, well, maybe it was just that and she's like, Mom, can you just side with me? I just want you to hear what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm sorry. And so I'm like, oh, now I can just say, did you want me to hear you? To hear you, just, or to give you a hug, or do you want me to help you to fix it? So I wanted to share that because I love streamline things that help us to move forward with more ease. All right. So now for my 10 life lessons from Alton Brown. And these are ADHD life lessons, even though I don't believe he's, has ADHD or identifies or anyway, but I do find, that's what I like to do is take things that I learned from other people and put that ADHD lens on it to make it applicable in our lives. So
a lot of chefs have ADHD.
Oh, it's true. That's actually very true. So I personally don't like to cook. So it's funny because I get a lot of my life lessons from things I inherently don't like. Like I was like the only one. I love to bake, and he does have episodes on baking. But so he's from the show Good Eats, which was always my absolute favorite cooking show, because it's funny. I do like cooking shows.
They're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch.
Hungry.
Yeah. Well, and they sometimes go, oh, I would love to eat that, but I still don't really want to cook it.
Yeah, right? But to watch how it's made is fun.
But he always made the shows interesting. There was always an element of play and novelty in the way that he approached. And he came at it from like a science. Like I remember like he would do like an entire episode on the egg, the glorious egg. And he would talk about like all different ways of making the egg and using the egg and breaking the egg and, all of these little hints and tips. And he ties them together with props and stories and visuals. And I just found it really, really interesting. So the main thing that he did that worked for me was humor. He would have like, like the lens, the camera lens from inside the oven. He'd be talking to him and he's putting it in, or he'd use puppets or different things. And I found that he approaches cooking like play. And so even though I don't like to cook and I don't really still want to cook, he was the most inspiring for me to even think about cooking. And I did, I have cooked a few of his things over the years, and I do have recipes of his that when I do cook or bake something, I use his recipes. And he does a number of baking things as well. And so I do like the sugar cookies I make for Christmas every year are Alton Brown sugar cookies. And I've stopped looking, when I find like the recipe, I stop looking because I'm like, no, this is it. I'm not like trying to figure out, is there still something better? This is good. So I thought I would look for some ways to take his examples of what he does that makes his show so interesting to my brain when it's a topic that I don't really inherently love, because I wouldn't just, a lot of these cooking shows, they teach you how to cook the meal. He teaches you what the different tools are for and why you would use like a flat spatula as opposed to, all these different, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So it's like, it makes sense to your brain. And now you understand certain things where I'm like, okay, now I find that interesting. I'd like to try that and see. So it pulled me in more than others. So I thought how to take them and maybe twist them and even just borrow them to make our ADHD brain work a little bit easier, a little less friction. So here are the 10 things I pulled out of Alton Brown's Good Eats and his approaches to life that could be used to support our own ADHD brain. So the first is Alton has a rule that every kitchen tool should have more than one use.
Ooh.
which I love. One of my best friends has a house in New England that is really, really small. And they're a family of 4, 1 bathroom, 3 really, really like condensed, because it's a
Tiny
very old
rooms,
house. It's a
yeah.
very, very old house. I think it was built in the late 1800s. Oh, actually, no, it was built like in 17, I think it was like 1780 or something.
How
Crazy
cool
thing.
is that?
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
But it was like 950 square feet or something. So
Very
like,
small. Yeah.
like a decent size apartment. And she would always say, like, I can't buy something unless it serves 2 purposes. And I thought, yeah, well, that size really makes you think intentionally, where if you have room to spread out, it's like, oh, I can get that and I can get that, I'll keep both.
But
And so
space.
yeah, and so I like, that's his approach too, is that regardless of what your size kitchen, every kitchen tool should have more than one use. So for people with ADHD, that ADHD lens, if you will, is to cut down on clutter by looking for overlapping things. Like, do you really need, if this thing also does that,
Yeah.
do you need it? Like, I know you've seen, I'm clearing out my own kitchen from clutter, and I have like an air fryer and a toaster oven, and I got a combo air fryer toaster oven because I'm like, I don't want all of these things in my kitchen where I need like back storage space for things. And then I forget I have them because I can't see them because my brain is so literally, you got it. So I like a pan that can go like from cooking to
the
oven to serving to the dishwasher.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it's like, I don't have to like, okay, I cooked it here. Now I got to take it and put it in a serving dish. Now I got to hand wash the serving dish and put it in a different thing to store in the refrigerator. Yeah, just keep it simple. I also think about this in terms of like a planner. Maybe your planner has a little space to track your habits or a little space to write your wins so that you can do things on one tool instead of having separate things for everything. Make it work for you. Yeah, exactly. So that's 1. Number 2, Alton uses puppets and visual cues to teach about his different cooking methods and techniques. So I would take that idea of the visuals and think about, where would I put a Post-it to remind me of something, a step that I want to follow or something, or color coding things to remind you, like green means they're the financial files, or red means this is urgent, or whatever it is, that you're tying things visually to help you remember what its use is for. Number 3, Alton's rule is know why the steps matter. Ooh. So this is that learning piece that I've always found very sparkly about his shows. So if we took that with the ADHD lens, it's learn the reason behind the tasks. I always say, if we understand why we need to do the thing we're being asked to do, we might have a little bit more ease in doing it instead of friction. Like, I don't see why that's necessary. So why should I waste my time and effort doing it? Because it seems ridiculous. I don't know why I would have to do that. So for example, if you tell somebody with ADHD, well, just do it because I said so. If they're like, well, I don't understand, why do I have to do that? Do it because I said so.
No. That
isn't helpful in getting us to do it.
If anything, I feel like you're going to be more stubborn and be like, well, I don't want
But
to do
I'm
that.
like, okay, it's what Dr. William Dotson says is secondary importance. It's, I hear you want me to do it because it's important to you, but it's not important to me. So understanding why can create motivation to do it. So for example, when my kids were younger and I would have them like clean the bathroom and they were like done, and there'd be like toothpaste stuck in the sink and they'd never touch the toilet and the shower was, just a mess.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what did you clean?
Okay, I need to help them understand what done looks like.
Yeah.
And so I would take pictures of before and then pictures of after and show them, like, this is what it looks like when it's done. So they had something to navigate towards. And we would talk about how, like, if you leave the toothpaste there and you don't wipe it up immediately, it gets really hard and it takes so much longer to get it off. So you can spend some more time on the weekend really clean that, or you can just wipe it off daily, and then it's so much easier to keep up with. So it's kind of helping them understand what's in it for them for doing it, or why it's important to do it. And this is true for adults too. We need to often understand the why behind things. Number 4, Alton's rule is that mistakes are part of the fun. I love this because if we as individuals with ADHD can open up our mind to experimenting, we can notice what works, what doesn't work, and we can begin instead of getting stuck in perfectionism and thinking, I can't do that because what if I do it wrong?
Yeah, what if I fail?
What if it doesn't go the way I think it should go. I was talking to my daughter this morning, and there's a little class being offered near me for how to fix knitting mistakes. And it's the thing I have never learned how to do well. I really struggle with it. And she was like, well, will you go? It's just a one-time class. I think it's 2 hours. And I said, I don't know if they're going to teach me the way I need to learn. Like if they're like standing opposite me, I know that won't work for me.
Right.
But I also won't know unless I go.
Unless you try.
And I could also ask, like, could you come around and show me?
Right. In this perspective.
Right. Because I also know if I just expect myself to make that work, I won't leave with any useful information, because I've been knitting for years now and I still struggle with fixing mistakes because they don't make sense to me when I come across them. I don't intuitively know how to go in and fix it.
Yeah.
So I noticed, even in talking that through, my idea of being embarrassed about not being able to fix that perfectionism will get in the way of me going. So I have to be open to experimenting and noticing, like, oh, I'm really struggling with understanding how you pick up a dropped stitch and bring it through so that it's on the needle the correct way. I always have a hard time knowing, is the yarn on the needle the right way? Did I twist it? So maybe I'll video it as I talk that through. I'm a very strong verbal processor. Like, maybe I'll just ask if I can video their hands as they're fixing things and they're showing me, so I can then play it back in my own time. There you go. All right. Coached myself. All right. So, all right. Number 5, Alton's rule is turn tasks into adventures. I love that. So I'm turning that into gamify your chores. So chores is just a terrible word for itself. So gamify the things you want to get done. Automatically I'm like, chores. So, just like maybe like set a timer and try to beat the clock, race somebody else. They're going to fold their laundry. You're going to fold yours. See who finishes first, whatever it is. Number 6. So Alton says every tool has to have more than one purpose, except one. So his rule is there's one uni-tasker, he calls it, tool, and it's a fire extinguisher. So he's a fire extinguisher's one and only job is to put out a fire, and you need it. So I would say with ADHD brain wiring, know what your emergency tool is. So have one break the glass in case of emergency tool. Maybe it's a list of strategies that you need when you're overwhelmed. To me, that is like the common thread that we struggle with, is when we get emotionally dysregulated, what helps us to come back to that state of calm where we can get our other executive functions back online. Yep. Take a breath, whatever it is. So know what that tool is, where it's kept, so you can find it when you need it. Because if you're overwhelmed, don't expect yourself to think of things in the moment they're going to help. So mine is my expecto patronum journal, where if I can just get that in my hands and look at the pictures, it reminds me that I don't always suck, that everything I do doesn't fail.
That negative talk.
Yep. I can break through it. And the pictures have such a connection to me emotionally. I can't feel emotionally terrible about myself and positive at the same time. So the positive, because the images are, I can just turn the pages and take them in. It really does help me to settle my brain down. Okay.
You that would have been amazing.
It would have been, but it also would have been shocking. I am notorious for not catching things. No, not me. All right, number 7, please. I was showing my husband knits as well, and he had gone the wrong way. He's knitting a hat for our son. He had gone the wrong way, and he was like, okay, remind me again, because he's knitting in the round and he hasn't knitted in the round in a while, because he's also knitting a scarf, which is not in the round. And he's like, remind me again how I know I'm going the right way. I was like, your yarn is always in your left hand.
Yeah. Okay.
But look what I'm saying. Your yarn is in your left hand, always in your left hand. Your working yarn's in your left hand. And he's looking at me, he's like, it's in my left hand. I said, it's in your left hand always. If it's not in your left hand, and he's like, and I was like, you know what I mean?
Ignore
I was
my
like,
right
yeah, you know what I mean. I do it all the time. Your other left.
Right.
Okay. Number 8, Alton breaks his recipes into steps and he builds in pauses in between. So with ADHD, we can look at that as breaks being built in as part of our process. So instead of, once we start, we can sometimes have a hard time stopping.
Yeah.
So having that kind of pre-planned, like, okay, at this point, this is a good place for me to take a little breather, maybe walk outside for a little bit, go get a drink, whatever it is,
Snack.
but build them in when and where you need them, so that you have a a higher likelihood that you'll pause, because we're known for skipping meals, not going to the bathroom, not hydrating. We just keep going once we start.
So
Yeah. So maybe then think about what would you need to remind yourself of your intention to pause. All right. Number 9, change your perspective. This is Alton's rule.
Ooh.
And think at the beginning when I said that he'll like use the camera in the oven, or he'll be, like you open the fridge and he's like, the camera's in the fridge looking at you. So I think about that as creating interest with novelty. So remember, our brains are wired for interest, and things that are new and novel to our brain automatically fire up our brain and get some dopamine going. So maybe if you're struggling to get work done or to focus in a certain location, move to a different spot. Literally just changing things up creates a little interest for your brain. So you go sit in a different room, go sit outside. I have college students that will intentionally plan, okay, I'll do this, work it on my whiteboard, type it up in my, my lab notes, whatever. And then I'm going to go outside and sit. I'll bring a little thing, blanket to sit on, and I'm going to sit outside under this tree and read, what the assignment is to read. So maybe change your pen color. That's like always my go-to. It's a simple little tweak, but gosh, if it doesn't create some interest in my brain. Or maybe you're just going to approach your challenge in a new way, something that you've done and now it's become boring. Remember, boring is like kryptonite to our brain. So just change it up and do it a new way so that it creates interest. And my go-to example is I'll empty the dishwasher in a different order. So that it's like, oh, well, what if I do this first? I'll change the cups around in my cupboard to make it. I'm like, oh, no, I can't wait to put the cups from the dishwasher in there, because it's easier to move around when it's empty and everything's in the dishwasher. I'm like, oh, what if I put these here, and now I'll put all the clean ones away and I can see how it looks. So just, approach your challenge in a different way. Number 10, last but not least, Alton says, make it personal and playful. So that ties for me to humor. So with my ADHD lens, I always look for where can I add humor to my plans. So the easiest thing that I'm going to use for an example here is when you name something as a reminder in your calendar, for example, don't name it something that when you read it, you're going to be like, ugh, right? So like if you have like budget time or balance the checkbook, if that creates like, right, it's like if you're like drained of energy just reading it, think about using a little bit of humor to rename even your task or your intention, so that the reminder is more interesting and is going to be more likely to pull you in. So I've had clients when they've done this tell me that they're going to put "don't die broke" name of their alarm, or like
to get up, like
it's like, oh my gosh, that's right, I don't want to die broke, so I better go look at my money and make sure it's where I need it to be, or I didn't overspend, or whatever it is. I know mine, I always put money fun, just because it's not hysterical, but it does remind me that it's how I look at it.
Yeah,
I can look at it as drudgery, or I can look at it, I'm going to get to see where I am.
It's going to be good. Yeah.
So just, make it personal and playful so that you're injecting a little bit of humor in it. Humor is just a absolute game changer when it comes to our brain. So look for where you can use it when you can. So just remember, making your systems and routines work for you so they feel inviting is what it's all about. And I'm hoping that maybe one of these 10 different things that Alton Brown does, maybe there's something in there that inspired you to do something a little bit more like Alton would do it, to make it easier for your brain to get started and to do it. And remember, there's only one uni-tasker: your emergency plan. Your in case of emergency, break glass. What glass? All right, now for my book of the week. This is Hidden Nature by Nora Roberts. And this is, there it is. Like, where did I write mine? Here it is. Perfectly.
Books with like
Makes
the
sense.
coolest covers. They look so fun, inviting, that you want to
And
read
it really is funny, because I do notice when I go to my my library, every season has like big summer books, big fall books. Like, they are often by me judged by the cover, where I'll see something like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
like I have no interest in that.
it can't pull me in, right? It's like, I don't think I
I
want
know
to read
this.
it.
I totally judge a book by the cover. Sorry, I do. So this came out in May of this year. And it's about a female detective who is walking into a convenience store to buy something, and she is shot when she steps into a robbery that's in progress.
Dun, dun, dun.
Her heart stops twice while she's in surgery, and she ends up having to move back home to start like a long road to recovery.
Sure.
This is a very, I'm not going to give you any more information because I don't want to give it away. No more details, but I will tell you, it's very engaging. It's a mystery thriller. One note I will make, and I think this is just my brain thing. I looked at other people's reviews to see if anybody else mentioned this, and I couldn't find it, but I found it challenging at times to figure out who she was speaking as through the book. Like her point of view shifted, and she wasn't saying who was talking. So I was constantly going back to see, like, wait a minute, is this him? Is this her? Is this their dad? Is it?
Yeah.
I found it very fatiguing at times, but even with that mental effort, I still really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So it may have just been a me thing. If you read this, I'd be curious to hear. This is episode 201. If you want to share your thoughts, if you read that. All right, now for my quote of the week, and this is from Alton Brown. Alton says, "Anything that contains raisins can be replaced with M&Ms."
I love that.
I have to say, I don't think that's true.
No, but
I mean, if you think about it with like, like raisin cookies, I know people put M&Ms in them. I had an example when I wrote that quote, and I was like, that's not true. Oh, I know, like when I make like pumpkin bread, I don't want M&Ms in my pumpkin bread.
No.
So I don't, or like if you make like raisin bread, like actual sliced bread, do you want M&Ms?
If you have like a raisin bagel.
Yeah,
M&Ms. bagel.
No. So I thought it was funny, but I have to say, Alton, I don't 100% agree. Which is funny because I would usually say, yeah, anything, add chocolate to anything and it's going to make it better. But I did think it was funny. So I wrote haha next to my quote because I was like, hey, I think that's funny and playful. I'm dropping everything today. That is it for episode 201. We have crossed over the 200th episode mark, and we are now plowing ahead, reaching for 300.
Yeah.
I hope that you have a little bit more of an ADHD friendly day and week, and we'll see you next time. Tally ho.